Have you ever wondered what you would do if one day your chest suddenly tightened, your arms and legs went cold, and there was no one else around you? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, up to 47% of deaths caused by heart attacks happen at home, when the person is completely alone. What is even more concerning is that many people have only the first 10 minutes to make a life-saving decision. But they do not know what to do. They hesitate. They call the wrong person. They try to endure it. And just a few minutes later, it is already too late. But this does not have to happen to you. Even if you live alone, even if you are over 60, and even if the pain strikes in the middle of the night. In today's message, I will walk you through 7 simple steps that could save your life in the most stressful moment, even when no one is there with you. Each step is a chance, a way for you to take back control. A reminder that even when you are alone, you are never powerless. If you are watching this video, please comment your country and age below so we can learn from and encourage each other. And now, let us begin. Step 1. Recognize the early signs. The heart does not always sound the alarm with a loud cry. Sometimes it only whispers, and if you do not listen closely enough, the price could be your entire life. Many people still believe a heart attack looks like what they see in the movies: a hand clutching the chest, a cry of pain, then collapsing to the floor. But reality is different, especially for people over the age of 60. The early signs are often very vague and can easily be mistaken for indigestion, shortness of breath from aging, or simple fatigue. It can feel like something heavy is pressing in the center of your chest. Not exactly pain, but more like a bag of sand placed right in your chest. You might feel like you cannot take a deep breath, even while sitting still. The discomfort may spread from your chest to your left shoulder, your neck, your back, or even down your arm. And sometimes, it may just be a mild nausea or a cold sweat covering your forehead for no clear reason. Do not ignore those signals. They are not minor. Richard, a 74-year-old man living in Indiana, once sat alone in his kitchen when he felt a strange pressure below his collarbone. He thought it was just a small muscle strain after lifting a heavy pot. But when shortness of breath and numbness in his left arm followed, he remembered a program that said heart attacks are not always painful. He called emergency services, and that decision saved his life. According to the American Heart Association, 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 do not experience typical chest pain during a heart attack. That means if you are waiting for severe pain, you might wait too long. Your body often whispers before it screams. And when your heart begins to speak, listen from the very first moment. So if you feel that something is not right, such as a pressure you cannot explain, unusual shortness of breath, or a strange feeling of weakness, do not try to endure it. Take action immediately. Step 2. Call for help immediately. As soon as you feel something unusual in your chest, or your breathing becomes shorter, the first and most important thing is not to open your medicine cabinet, not to call your children, but to pick up the phone and dial emergency services right away. Do not wait. Do not try lying down for a while to see if it goes away. Do not convince yourself that it might be from eating too much, the weather, or a slight drop in blood pressure, because if a heart attack is truly happening, every minute that passes means heart muscle cells are being destroyed. There is a reason why emergency medical teams are prepared from the moment they receive the call. When you dial 911, they do not just drive to your home. They bring heart monitors, emergency medications, and defibrillators. They are trained to handle the most critical situations, even if your heart stops beating on the way to the hospital. If you try to drive yourself, you could lose consciousness behind the wheel. cause an accident, or worse, never make it to where you need to go. Linda, a 78-year-old woman living alone in Ohio, was folding clothes one afternoon when she felt a dull ache in her left shoulder, cold sweat running down her neck, and a tight pressure in her chest. She thought of calling her daughter, but then she remembered what a nurse once said. If you suspect a heart attack and you're alone, call emergency services first. Call family after. That decision made all the difference. When the ambulance arrived, her pain had worsened, but she was treated in time right at home. The doctor later said that if she had waited just 10 more minutes, the outcome could have been very different. You do not need to be 100% certain that you are having a heart attack to make the call. No one will blame you if it turns out everything is okay. But if you do not call in time, you may not get a second chance. Always keep your phone within reach, and if possible, set up an emergency call button on your lock screen. Do not let "I'll be fine" be the last thing you say. Step 3. Chew an aspirin. There is something very small, as light as the tip of your finger, but during a heart attack, it can be the line between life and death. That is an aspirin tablet. After you have called emergency services, the next thing you can do immediately, without anyone's help and without any special equipment, is to find a standard 325 milligram aspirin and chew it slowly. Do not swallow it whole. Do not take it with water. Chew it as soon as possible. Why chew? Because when you chew, the active ingredient in aspirin is absorbed directly through the lining of your mouth and stomach, helping your blood thin more quickly. This slows down the formation of blood clots, which are the main cause of blocked arteries and heart attacks. In many cases, this single action has helped restore partial blood flow to the heart before the doctor even arrives. Joe, a 72-year-old man in Florida, was reading the morning paper in his living room when he felt heaviness in his chest, shortness of breath, and stiffness in his neck. He suddenly remembered an old bottle of aspirin in the kitchen drawer. He took one tablet, chewed it slowly, and sat quietly while waiting for help. When he arrived at the hospital, the doctor said chewing the aspirin had clearly reduced heart damage and even made it easier to place a stent. Harvard University once published that taking aspirin early during a heart attack may reduce the risk of death by up to 23%. But take note, if you are allergic to aspirin or are taking special blood-thinning medication, you should skip this step and focus on resting. You should also keep aspirin in places that are easy to reach, such as a kitchen drawer, bedside table, handbag, or wallet. And remember to check the expiration date once a year. A small pill, if placed in the right spot at the right time, can become a temporary bridge that helps your heart survive danger. Step 4. Stop, sit down, and breathe gently. After calling emergency services and chewing an aspirin, many people make a mistake in the next step. They begin walking around, looking for clothes, tidying up the house, or trying to call family members. But what your body really needs at this moment is not action. It is calm. Because every step, every small movement makes your already damaged heart work harder. And right now, your heart does not need you to be strong. It needs you to stop. The best choice now is to sit down, if possible. Lean back in a chair, place both feet flat on the floor, and rest your hands gently on your thighs or the arms of the chair. If you feel dizzy, lie on your side with your head slightly elevated by a thin pillow. Avoid lying flat on your back if you are having trouble breathing. Alice, 81 years old, living in Oregon, was washing dishes one morning when she felt pressure in her chest. Instead of looking for medicine or calling a neighbor, she remembered what her doctor once said. When you suspect something is wrong with your heart, sit down immediately. Doing nothing is actually doing a lot. She pulled out a chair, sat upright, breathed gently, and waited for the ambulance. The doctor later confirmed that by minimizing movement, she avoided a dangerous arrhythmia. According to the American Journal of Clinical Medicine, for older adults, keeping the body at rest right when a heart attack begins can reduce the risk of serious complications by up to 30%. So do not feel embarrassed to sit still. Do not think you are bothering anyone. Sitting quietly is an intentional action. It is your way of telling your body that you are listening and helping it get through this. Step 5. Unlock the door before you collapse. Once you have sat down and stabilized your breathing, there is one small action that could buy you a few extra minutes to survive. Unlock your front door. You may not think about this while worrying about your heartbeat, but for emergency responders, a locked door can be a barrier that costs precious time. They may have to break it open, and you might not have a minute left to wait if you still have enough strength. Stand up slowly and move calmly to the front door to unlock it. Do not carry anything with you. Do not rush. If the door is already open, leave it that way and return immediately to your resting spot. But if you are too weak and cannot stand steadily, do not force yourself. In that case, simply inform the dispatcher about the door lock or give directions over the phone if a nearby family member can assist. Paul, 76 years old, lived alone in a small apartment in California. When he felt a tightness in his chest and numbness in his left arm, he called 911. While waiting, he gathered his strength, unlocked the front door, and then sat in the nearest chair. When the emergency team arrived, they were able to enter right away and begin treatment. One medic said, "He gave us at least 30 golden seconds, and that might have been enough to keep his heart from stopping." You should also consider installing a lockbox or using a smart lock that can be opened remotely with a phone, especially if you live alone or spend many hours alone at home. Do not let a locked door become the obstacle between you and survival. Step 6. Let your phone speak for you. When you are alone during a heart attack, your phone is not just for calling emergency services. It can become your companion, your only lifeline, if you know how to use it the right way. One simple action that many people forget in a moment of panic is to switch the phone to speaker mode. You do not need to hold the phone tightly against your ear. You do not need to grip it with hands that are shaking from exhaustion. Just tap the speaker button and place the phone on a table, on your lap, or near you. This allows you to breathe more evenly without tightening your chest. It also helps the dispatcher hear background sounds such as your breathing, any falling objects, or your voice growing faint. All of these details can help them assess your condition more accurately. There is also a function that every modern smartphone has. It is called Medical ID. Whether you use an iPhone or Android, you can set it up so that emergency medical information appears on your lock screen without needing a password. In that section, you should include your name, age, any chronic conditions, drug allergies, current medications, and 1 or 2 emergency contact numbers. Susan, 79 years old, from Colorado, once lost consciousness during a heart attack before emergency responders arrived. But thanks to her medical ID showing on the lock screen, they learned she had diabetes and was allergic to penicillin. That helped them avoid a mistake that could have been fatal. They also contacted her daughter, who reached the hospital within 15 minutes. If you have never heard of medical ID or have not set it up yet, take 5 minutes today to do it. You never know when you might need it, but when you do, it will speak for you. Step 7. Steady your breathing. Steady your life. Right now, your heart may still hurt, your breathing may still be uneven, and your mind may be filled with questions that have no answers. But if there is one thing you still have control over, it is your own breathing. And sometimes, just by steadying your breath, you help your heart hold on to life. When panic sets in, the body reacts by speeding up the heartbeat, breathing rapidly, breaking into a cold sweat, or trembling. All of this forces your already weakened heart to work twice as hard. But if you know how to regulate your breathing, you reduce the stress signals sent to your brain, allowing your nervous system to slow your heart rate naturally. One simple yet effective breathing technique, recommended by many doctors at Tufts University, is the 4-6 method, very gently. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, pause for 1 second, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. Repeat this for about 5 cycles. Rest for 10 seconds, then continue. Do not tense your body. Do not force the breath. The gentler, the better. Frank, 83 years old, a retired teacher in Arizona, used this exact method when chest pain struck while he was alone at home. He did not shout. He did not panic. He called 911, chewed an aspirin, then leaned against a wall and breathed using the rhythm his doctor had once taught him. When the emergency team arrived, his heart was still in pain, but had not fallen into dangerous arrhythmia. He later shared, "At that moment, I had only one thought. Staying calm means staying alive." Practicing this breathing technique daily, even when you are healthy, helps your body respond correctly in moments of danger. It is like having a life preserver ready. You just have to remember to throw it when needed. Breath is something you always have with you. No medication, no machines. Just by taking a few minutes to learn how to breathe the right way, you give your heart a much better chance of survival. You have just walked through a very special journey, not along any road outside, but a journey inside your own body. When the heart speaks up and no one is there with you. But now, you have a map, a clear, simple, and powerful plan to survive a heart attack, even if you are completely alone. Remember, it all begins by listening to the very first signs, even if they are mild, even if they are not what you see on television. Then comes calling emergency services right away, chewing an aspirin, sitting still and breathing slowly, unlocking the door if you are able, turning your phone on speaker, and finally, keeping your breath steady like a mental anchor. No step is too difficult. No step requires a doctor by your side. As long as you stay calm, you open up a very real, very near chance of survival. Starting today, take one small action. Check the aspirin bottle in your home. Practice 3 rounds of 4-6 breathing while watching TV, or set up your medical ID on your phone. These small things, when a real moment comes, can become your shield of life. If you found today's message helpful, please subscribe to the channel to receive weekly videos on nutrition, exercises, and simple tips to improve senior health. And if you have ever experienced a moment when your heart felt uncertain and you were alone, share it with us below. You are not alone. Your story could become the light that guides someone else. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I wish you good health and the wisdom to always hold on to your own rhythm of life.